So this past weekend was San Diego Comic-Con, and there was a lot of news coming out of both the DC and Marvel side of things, but I think Marvel unobjectively came out with the bigger scoops. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. If you guys are finding me for the very first time, please be sure to click that like and subscribe button. So a lot of big news coming out on the Marvel side of things this past weekend, and now we have the Multiverse Saga confirmed by none other than Kevin Feige for phases 4, 5, phase 6. A lot of this stuff is subject to change, but there could be stuff that's added in later on, like different things like What If Season 2, Armored Wars. There's only 3 movies scheduled to come out in phase 6. I don't think this is going to stay this way. I just think this is what they got right now. And you can see, yes, the big thing here is 2 Avengers movies in the same year, one in May of 2025 and the other in November of 2025, and the first one being titled The Kang Dynasty and the second one is Secret Wars. And of course it looks like Fantastic Four will end up in phase 6, but the good thing is now that we have a clear idea of where this story is going within this next saga, because a lot of people were wondering, is Kang going to be the big bad? Is Galactus going to show up? What's going on with the Celestials? So it looks like Kevin Feige has at least steered us in the right direction at this point, going, no, this is absolutely a multiverse saga. And when you start to look at some of the pieces of this, it does kind of fit. So we have WandaVision. The whole purpose of that is her becoming Scarlet Witch. She gets the book. The book then leads into Doctor Strange, where the book corrupted her, has her going through the multiverse, trying to kill America. Spider-Man No Way Home, very multiverse heavy. So we see where the direction of the multiverse is actually happening within this universe. And there's a lot of different things that don't play in the multiverse that I still have a lot of questions for. Like, where does the 10 rings fall in? The ancient powers of the 10 rings. We had Wong show up at the end of that movie, and he's like, this is like very alien and ancient, like older than the Infinity Stone. And then of course we have Miss Marvel and her bracelet, which is very much like the power of the 10 rings. So I feel like we have different threads going on within the multiverse saga. Where does that play in exactly? Are they going to end up telling us that artifacts, these rings and the bracelet, maybe comes from a different universe? That might be something that's very, very plausible. If you guys ever read Secret Wars, this is a much different Secret Wars than you guys are aware of, right? Like, this is the multiverse Secret Wars. This isn't the Secret Wars from the 80s. The one in the 80s was basically to help promote the toy line, where they had all the different heroes all on this one battle Earth, and they're all fighting and all that stuff, and that was to promote the toy line. But this Secret Wars is the multiverse Secret Wars, which is about all these different planets, the incursion and these planets blowing up and stuff like that. And there was only one planet that could survive, and then it ends up Doctor Doom becomes the god of the final planet. And it was basically just a way for Marvel to kind of combine all their universes into one. But that's what Secret Wars is. This is not the Secret Wars from the 80s. This is the current Jonathan Hickman run of Secret Wars, where there's all the different incursions happening. And that was something that was led in by Doctor Strange at the end of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. A few of these movies, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to fit into the main scope of things. Like, where does Secret Invasion really fit into things? I'm still confused on that, right? I do think Quantumania is going to play a huge part into the multiverse, as well as Kang. I do think Loki might play a huge part into that. At the end of Eternals, I believe it was, we got a look at Thanos' brother. Where does the Eternals fit into the next few phases? I'm not entirely sure. And that's the thing. I'm kind of like, we literally had a Celestial come out of the Earth's crust, and he's just kind of like hanging there. And then we had another Celestial come and say, like, we're going to judge the Earth. So where does that fit in? Does that fit into Secret Wars? So there's a lot of threads going on here that I'm not entirely sure how these things fit into stuff. Where does Secret Invasion really fit in? To me, Secret Invasion should have been its own saga altogether. Before they did the multiverse saga, before they do any other saga with that. But they decided to call this saga the Multiverse Saga. When the MCU first came out, phase 1, 2, and 3 took 10 years to build. Now, I'm not saying that phase 4, 5, and 6 needs 10 years to build for the end of this saga, but the Infinity Saga took 10 years to set up. And each phase of those had their own story within those phases. The first phase was introduction of everybody, and it led to the Chitauri attacking Earth with Loki at the lead, basically trying to get the Tesseract, which we found out was an Infinity Stone. And that was the end of the first phase. It was introducing the characters and the Chitauri attacking Earth, and then that was the main storyline for the first phase. The second phase was much different. It was basically trying to put a suit of armor around the planet Earth. We are suffering from the effects of what happened at the attack in New York with the Chitauri. You know, Iron Man creates the Iron Legion, which eventually leads into Ultron. We have the disbanding of S.H.I.E.L.D. There was a lot of stuff going on within phase 2, which set up the Age of Ultron storyline at the end of that phase. So we had the Chitauri phase attacking New York, then we had the Age of Ultron phase, and then we capped it off with Infinity War and Endgame, and it was all about the Infinity Stones. But all three of those phases had Infinity Stones leading the breadcrumbs to the main event. So we had the Avengers attack on New York storyline, we had the Age of Ultron storyline, and then we had the cap off of the Infinity storyline, making it the Infinity Saga. And I'm not saying that the Multiverse Saga needs 10 years in order to be as good as the recent saga. Sometimes some stories are better than others. I'm just simply saying is the path, although we see where the finish line is not as clear as it was in previous versions and previous phases of the MCU. How do you feel about 2 Avengers movies coming out in the same year, the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, and how do you feel about the lineup leading up to these events? Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below, guys. Smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.